Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I don't know why, but I'm kind of weirdly obsessed with alternate forms of transportation. I've been that way my entire life, and now that I'm an adult and I have adult money, I can buy the toys that I want. But with that being said, when a company reached out to me and said, "We have an electric scooter we want you to try," you can guarantee I was on board with that. Let me introduce you to this toy. This is my new Caroma P7 electric scooter. And let me tell you something, this thing is an absolute hoot. This thing arrived the other day and it only took a few minutes for me to put it together. Once I got it out of the box, the assembly was really easy. Usually with packages like this, you have to put wheels on, you have to attach handlebars, sometimes you even have to hook up the brakes. On this particular unit though, it came in the box almost completely intact. The only thing I really had to do was put on the seat and the basket and then attach the tail light. Oh yeah, there was a couple of reflectors that go on the front forks, but other than that, the bike came pretty well intact. It only took about 15 minutes for me to put the whole thing together and get it ready to ride. So let me tell you a little bit about this scooter. The Caroma P7 is very similar in design to the Caroma P2. The big difference is the P2 has a 500 watt motor. The P7 has a 750 watt motor with a peak of 1200 watts. This thing is an absolute screamer. Now the company says that this will do 30 miles on a single charge and run up to 20 miles per hour. Let me tell you something, 20 miles per hour on a scooter this size is so much fun. This little motor has got a whole lot of torque. There is so much power behind this little bitty scooter that it's almost dangerous. And I found out a couple of times what happens when you let your guard down around something that a lot of people view as a toy. Now, I didn't have my camera on for this one, but the first time I hit that throttle, the scooter came out from under me. I sat down on it, I pulled the throttle, I didn't even pull it all the way back. I just turned the throttle and that scooter shot out from under me. Fortunately, I still had a good grip on it. It didn't hit the ground, but I did find out that because the P7 scooter has a full hand throttle, it's not just a partial throttle, that it makes it really hard to hold on to that handlebar and not continue to give it gas. So what happened was this thing got out from under me and I was still rolling that throttle as I was trying to stop it from getting away from me or snatching me down the driveway. I really wish that had been on video. That would have been something to see. But let me show you a couple of things about the scooter real quick. First off, you can see it's a very simple design. The handlebars and what people refer to as the cockpit is not very complicated. In fact, the only display that this one has is how much power you've got left. There is no speedometer. There's nothing like that on this particular scooter. You've got hand brakes, one for the front tire, one for the back tire. It has disc brakes, which is really great with a 750 watt motor because you're going to need all the stopping power you can get. On the front, there's a reflector and of course a headlight. On the back, you've got a cargo basket and an integrated brake light tail light. The seat is adjustable up and down so you can compensate for height or lack thereof. There's nothing wrong with that. The handlebars collapse down to make it easier to transport. So I didn't want to just take the scooter out for a ride. I kind of wanted to put it through its paces. I wanted to see what it was capable of, how far we could go, and most of all, how comfortable it is. This thing claims to have a 30-mile range, but I wasn't sure how comfortable this thing would be riding for long distances. So I wanted to take this out for a day of riding and kind of experience everything there was to experience with. So let's jump on the scooter, let's take it for a ride and see how enjoyable it is, how comfortable it is, and how far we can go. This does get wobbly if you take your hands off the handlebars. It gets super wobbly real quick. Starting off though, this is cool. It's fun. It doesn't feel overly speedy, so it's comfortable. Hitting a few bumps here. The suspension's a little hard, but you're feeling your bumps. There's not a lot to absorb it, whether it's the tires, any kind of shock absorption, or the seat. You feel it all the way up. And we are approaching our first test. You might be able to see this hill up ahead of me that goes over the railroad tracks. A little bit of a grade plus the railroad tracks. So we're going to test it out and see if this thing gives me any trouble getting over this hill. Not too bad. So far, comfortable ride. It's not jarring my kidneys too bad. Let's get back in here a little bit. There is no speedometer on this, so I can't really tell how fast I'm going. I should be able to tell later when I look back at Strava. I get comfortable on the turns, especially if you really lean into it. And I have to figure out where my comfort level is in that. It runs super quiet, I'll say that. If you're trying to be stealthy, this is a good way to do it. Sidewalk here. Keep me off the busy road. Gotta dodge around this sign though. There we go. So yes, I realize that riding on sidewalks is not preferred with something like this. But this is an unoccupied sidewalk. And while I'm getting used to this, I'd rather not ride in a busy street. It's a lot of fun on more controlled roads, like neighborhood streets and whatnot. There's not so much traffic, you can kind of get out in the middle of the road and run. That's a lot of fun. I wouldn't describe this thing as nimble. I guess once you get used to it and more comfortable with its capabilities, you might be able to really just zip in and out of things, but right now I'm not at that point. The number of people that do not trim their bushes back from the sidewalk is a little annoying. Look at this. One reason why it's not good to just get on the sidewalk and open it up. We've got another pretty significant hill coming up here, so I'm curious to see how we're going to do on this. And I'm glad the sidewalk continues up this hill because I really did not want to have to do this out in the main road, but I'm going to give it some gas because I want to be able to see how we do. Giving it full power as we go up the hill. We're hardly even slowing down. This thing is really punching through. That's pretty impressive. Kind of worried I was going to get halfway up the hill and have to walk up the rest of the way. Whoa, do not want to hit that too fast. Let's cut through this parking lot, go around the Walgreens. There's a little gravel. Let's see what we do with gravel. There's a little gravel. Let's see what we do with gravel. That's what we do right there. That was not how that test was supposed to go. I hope the camera's still intact. All right, let's not do that again. Camera took a pretty hard hit on that one. I think we may have chipped the lens. I took a pretty hard hit on that. Look at that. It has been a long time since I took a fall on a bike. Some kind of a cover came off somewhere. Yeah, I think it goes right there. Not seeing any obvious damage. Everything seems intact. I think this is where we hit. Brake's still intact. Let's see where we are. Ow, ooh, that knee hurts. Right, we're almost 8 miles in to our little excursion, and we just took a pretty serious fall. This, kids, is why we wear our helmet. This is also why we don't go on gravel with one of these. A little bit of skinning on my hand. That was a little spooky. Didn't like that at all. But we survived. Lessons learned. We know now what the limits are when it comes to off-roading with this thing. Stay on ground that is hard packed or grass or something like that. Or at least wait until you get a little more familiar with this thing. That was pretty stupid of me. I don't put any of that on the manufacturers of the bike. That is 100% user error. And I'm sure I'll do more stupid things. This is not the first time I've been stupid on this bike. All right, let's get back on the road. So we're not cutting the ride short, but we do want to start heading back toward the house because I don't really know if that's going to get any worse or if it's going to start giving me problems. I didn't notice any kind of feeling like I'd broken anything anywhere, but that was a pretty substantial hit, and I'm not used to falling like that. And when you get to be my age. But we're going to head back in the direction of, I wanted to make a couple of stops, but I don't know that I'm going to do that at this point. I may still. Really just kind of depends on how I feel, but I don't want people looking at me weird when I come walking in a place with blood dripping down my leg. I'm happy to report, though, that it does not look like we so much as we might have left a scratch in the paint, but this thing took a hard fall like I did, and nothing's messed up. Nothing's tweaked. Nothing's feeling like it's not working the way it's supposed to. Even the handlebar alignment was fine. This thing is rugged. I really thought that I had messed up bad and that this scooter was going to be toast after that fall. Upside. I had to pull off and show you this. The knee is getting rather angry looking. Look at this. Yep. That's going to need a nice cleanup and bandage. All right, so we are almost home. I am right around the corner from the house, so this is where I'm going to cut this off. But I do want to show you a couple of things. Here we are on the power meter. We've still got a significant amount of power left. I could probably keep going for a while. Once I get my phone out of my pocket, I will pop up here how many miles we covered on this little excursion. Now, here's where I was talking about we were running into a problem. This right here got loosened up, I think, as a result of the fall. So I'm going to need to get in there and see exactly what's going on, see if it's just something that needs to be tightened up or if we've really messed something up. That's going to be it for this trip. Let's take it back to the studio for a wrap-up. Well, that was an exciting ride, right? How often do you get to see that? So we made it a grand total of about 16 miles. The average speed we traveled was 13 miles per hour. And according to Strava, it told me that I was maxing out at 30 miles per hour. I know that's not true. I'm thinking that might have been how fast I traveled from the scooter seat to the ground. We did those 16 miles and my butt was giving out long before the scooter was. There was still a fair bit of power on there. When I arrived at the end, it was still fluctuating between that second and third bar of energy. Now, I'm not sure why on the Caroma scooters, the bottom bar in the energy does not light up. I don't know if that's a reserve that just starts lighting up when you're about to run out of power or what's up with that, but we never got down that low. And of course, given that I was injured and needing to get home, we had to kind of cut things short. But overall, this thing was so much fun to ride. But let's go over some pros and cons with it. The first pro is that powerful 750 watt motor. That thing has got some get up and go to it. You're not going to outrun a sports car from a dead stop, but as far as getting up to your max speed, that engine is going to get you there quickly. You've got a good range on it. We did 16, almost 17 miles, and we still had lots of power left once we got to the end. Now, it was looking a little shaky for a minute there, but eventually it did seem to be consistently running with that second and third bar fluctuating a little bit. Overall, the scooter is pretty comfortable. I'm 5'8", and it was a comfortable ride for me. I have the seat down relatively low and the handlebars relatively low. So if you're taller, then you can move that seat and the handlebars up to compensate for that. But I imagine if you're over about 6'3", it's gonna start to get a little weird feeling trying to ride this thing. Another pro is this thing's pretty cool looking. I got a lot of people looking at me, giving me thumbs up and stuff, seeing me driving down the road, and people just generally smile when they see it. I even had a guy on a motorcycle cranking his neck around to kind of see what it was he just drove by. So let's talk about some cons. At my age, I can't afford to be taking spills like the one that I took on this scooter. So the first con that I come to is that because of its size, because of its low center of gravity, what you have to deal with is you have a 55-pound scooter very low to the ground. Now you've got a 200-pound man sitting on top of that 55-pound scooter. Your center of gravity is going to be way up. This thing is not going to be stable on the ground, and anything that can possibly mess with the traction between those tires and the road is going to be a risk. Riding in wet weather, riding on gravel, riding on really loose dirt, probably not the best decision in the world. I know that gravel was a really bad decision. How many more times are we going to watch this? If you look at the way the wheels are on this bike, the rear wheel is almost directly under the rider. This is part of the reason why that torque, the first time I cranked the throttle, yanked the scooter out from under me. The bulk of the weight of the rider is sitting at the very back of this scooter, which means if you're not leaning slightly forward, every bit of weight is moving backwards, and inertia is going to cause that bike to want to come out from under you and for you to go over backwards. The front tire, the steering arrangement is directly straight over the tire. So coupling that with the tire size means there's not a lot of throw in that steering. Every little bit of movement in that front tire is going to be magnified when it comes to the way that scooter feels under you. When you're turning at speed, you're going to have to lean into it. There is no turning that handle. Even when you're operating at low speeds, you've got to be mindful that you're not turning your handlebars too much. There is a learning curve with this thing, surprisingly enough. And it's not that riding a scooter is complicated. It's not that it's anything that some kid couldn't jump on and catch on to right away. But when you add this much power to that back tire, that's when you start running risk that something could go wrong. The scooter runs great. It stops great. A little bit of squeak in the brakes when you stop, but that's not too much of a problem. Durability-wise though, I'm absolutely amazed at how little damage I did with that crash. Let me show you something real quick. The issue with the throttle grip was easily remedied. I used one of the wrenches that came with it to tighten up the Allen screw that was holding it in place, and it fixed the issue. No more wobble. I think I just hit it so hard that I knocked it loose. The extent of the damage that I found so far is this. The scooter fell over on that key and bent the key. Fortunately, it didn't break off in there, and it didn't bend to where I couldn't get out of the lock, but it sticks out just far enough that taking that spill caused that metal key to bend. But other than those two things, that thing hit the ground hard and it came back kicking. I'm impressed. Build quality, I have zero complaints about with this thing. So let's circle back to pros for just a minute, because the biggest pro that I have with this scooter, if you guys watched my video where I was camping in Arkansas and I was trying to get my e-bike out of the back of my vehicle while it was still attached to the teardrop camper, you saw how I struggled with that. It's heavy, it's cumbersome, and it's big. This scooter here, I can load this thing in the back of my car with gear already in there. I don't have to fold any seats down. I don't have to do anything extra. I can just stick it in the back of the car. And on top of that, I can even close the cargo cover over it so that nobody can look in and see that it's even in there. That shocked me. That made me very happy, because I want to be able to take this thing on trips. I want to be able to take it when I go camping. I want to be able to take it when I go exploring. Being able to take this thing out of the back of my car while I'm at the campsite, set it up and hit the road with it, that's exactly what I need this for. Yeah, it could be a post-apocalyptic grocery getter, but until that day comes, I'm going to use it for normal people stuff. I still want to do some testing though. My intention on my outing was I was going to make a trip to the grocery store. I was going to see if I could take this into the grocery store without anybody getting bent out of shape about it, to see if management would stop me from coming in or kick me out if they found me inside toting this thing around. Also kind of wanted to see if I could fold it up and stick it in a shopping cart. If you're living in a city, or if you're living someplace where you need something small to ride to go get your groceries, you're not going to want to leave this sitting outside. somebody's going to take it. I know in the area that I live in, if I left this thing outside for a second, it would be gone. I like the idea that I can take it inside with me and it's unobtrusive. It's no bigger than a Rascal get-around scooter. Plus I can throw all my groceries in the basket. But overall, I love this little scooter, even though it tried to kill me. Look, I'll own that. That was my fault. That was me being stupid. And the fact that it's been 30 years since I've ridden anything like this. So that's on me. That is not the fault of the scooter. That's not the fault of Caroma. That is 100% user error. So that's going to wrap up my review of the Caroma P7. The company has provided me with a discount code that's going to be down in the description box below in the event that you want to go see what the pricing is like with my discount. They also make a number of other size scooters that might be a little more budget friendly. They come in all size motors, wheel sizes, but overall, everything that I've seen about this company is that the quality is about the same on everything they do. It's rugged and durable, and it does what it's intended to do. So while it may not have a whole lot of fancy bells and whistles, I don't have a fancy readout on the cockpit and all that kind of stuff, I don't really need that. It would be nice to have a speedometer that would tell me how fast I'm going, and I definitely would recommend a better seat for it. That's going to be my one improvement. I'm going to add a more cushy seat on that thing because I can only do so much on the seat that came with it. So Caroma, if you're paying attention, look into a bigger seat, especially for your older customers that might need something with a little bit more support. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a comment down below, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hit that notification bell to be made aware of all upcoming videos. There's all kinds of cool stuff coming up. There's more product reviews coming, and of course, my usual MRE content. So until the next time, prepare for the world that you live in, not the one you wish existed. We'll see you next time. And once again, keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up, unlike me. Oh, please stop. Bye, everybody.